Sharp Chat. Sharp Chat.
Well, the last time this quartet was with us here on Shop Chat, they were in search of a new person for the quartet. And now, lo and behold, here they are wearing gold medals. We are so excited to have your 2019 International Gold Medalists signature. Boys, why don't you sing us in today?
What? Take it easy, think about what you're trying to do to me. Better think.
Let your mind go, let yourself be free. People walking around every day,
playing games and taking scores, trying to make other people lose their minds. Be careful, you're gonna lose yours. Think about it, forgiveness, be about it. Forgiveness, freedom, yeah, freedom, freedom, freedom. Give me some of that freedom, give me freedom. Just a little bit, can't you give me just a little bit, baby? Just a little respect and freedom.
All right, that is fantastic, guys. Thank you so much for being with us here. This weekend, we're filming at the Sunshine District Fall Convention. And thank you for taking time out to be with us. So, Will, let's just get right to it. Last time we were here together on Shop Chat, you guys had announced that you were going to be looking for, at first I thought, a replacement baritone, but then as it turns out, it was a quick search to find that
So did we, by the way.
So why don't you tell us about the decision for you to switch over from tenor to baritone?
Yeah, it's one that I was definitely reluctant to do, but you know, when we finally chose Paul to come on, it felt right, you know. And we consulted, we prayed on it. We consulted with three of our coaches, which happen to be three of the best baritones in our opinion of all time, and they said, you know, this is right. Just get to work. And we said, okay. When they said go, we said it's time to rock and roll. And then 2 rehearsals a week later, it was just.
Was the decision first for Paul to join the quartet and then you to shift to baritone, or was it first for you to go to baritone and then look for a tenor?
So no, it was always for me to stay on tenor and for us to find a baritone.
Gotcha.
And when we asked Paul to audition, Paul said, you know, I think I would be best fit. I could be best in the ensemble if I sang tenor.
Gotcha.
He said, would you be willing to try baritone? I said, no. And then it just kind of it almost felt like a snowball, right? It was like, okay, well, maybe we should try this. Oh, maybe. And then it was just like one of those things. And
had you sung baritone before in a quartet?
In high school I sang baritone and I sang bass, both very poorly. And as you can see, still to this day, extremely poorly.
Yeah, it's kind
And so much so that Paul back then, you know, I was a couple years younger, that Paul would not sing with me back then. And here we are today. Hi, Paul. It's good to see you.
Speaking of Paul, I'd like
Friendship,
to talk
baby.
more about that process that led to him joining the quartet. So, Dan, exactly what was the process then to decide to invite Paul to come and audition and to be a part of the quartet?
Well, shortly after we Matt stepped down, we were looking for new guys, and we had a few in mind that were local. We wanted some guys that were in the South Florida area, some driving distance. We want to get together twice a week, and that was our major goal we were going for. So we had Alex Rubin try out when we asked him, and we had Eddie Mejia and Paul also tried out. And we took a vote, and it was a very difficult decision because they were all incredibly talented and fit the quartet great. But Paul just had the little edge on everybody else, and it's been great ever since because I've known him for about 10 years now. Personally, these guys have known him for nearly 20. And
over 20.
Yeah, over 20.
We're getting old.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's great. So, Paul, then from your point of view, obviously it's a deeply personal decision to switch quartets, especially at the level you guys all sing in. But to the extent that you feel comfortable, what was appealing to you to make this decision?
You know, sometimes you just got to trust your heart and just how you feel. You put things things out in the universe, and you kind of let them come to fruition. If they're meant to be, whatever it is that your heart, what you're striving for, usually comes to fruition. As somebody who has grown up with Will and sung with Daniel, I'd always been their friend and a competitor. Obviously, we competed over the last few years.
Right. Just
watching, their growth, and not just the growth, but the music, what they were singing, what they represented. I mean, as a competitor, like, oh, that's another tough quartet you're going to have to deal with next year. But
right.
not just that, but just this is home. This is home, and it's hard having been fortunate enough to sing with two great quartets and two great leads in Tim Brooks and Sean Devine, and it got to a point where it's like things were kind of it has to mean something to be a part of to do something like this, and for me it was just I knew this was where I belonged. I could hear Gene telling me this is what I've envisioned.
Sure.
I remember him saying, I have a vision that guys from South Florida who come from all walks of life, who look different, are going to sing music that's popular in their communities. And everything we sang is a song that we could go into the inner city of Miami or West Palm Beach, and we could sing that music, and we could get people excited about this hobby.
He said that in his living room. I remember I was there. I was watching his high school quartet, and I was just always tagging along and watching him. Like I said, I was not good.
Right.
And still not. And Paul would remind me every day,
right.
"No, you're not good."
Right.
And him saying this was
reverse psychology.
That's what it was. I was just prepping.
This was 1998, 1999. And he envisioned that this is what he wanted. And he said, with the youth outreach and the stuff that we come from, he's like, I'm not trying to get everybody excited. I'm trying to get 4 or 5 ambassadors that I can get excited.
Sure.
They can get their peers excited. And that was always his vision. And I hope that we kind of live up to
I
that.
certainly hope so. I mean, he's not here to speak on it, but I often think about Gene.
Yeah.
And I just feel like this is what he envisioned. So to be a part of it was important.
That's great. Sometimes in our hobby, guys get together to start singing because they like the sound, and then they become good friends. But it's also a very cool thing when guys who've been friends for 2 decades, for 20 years, finally get a chance to be able to sing together as well. So thank you for sharing that. So Danny, I want to ask you about the psychology of. I heard somebody say finishing second once is great, but you don't want to finish second twice. And you all found yourselves up against that, where you were runners-up in great contests 2 years in a row. So from your point of view, what was the feeling and the psychology making another run at it this time?
You mean this year?
Yeah, this year.
This year, I think this year the whole competition aspect of it first year was, I don't want to say non-existent, but we were more focused on just making great music. I think a lot of times we all get caught up in the process and caught up in just the monotony of what happens with the competition aspect of it, and sometimes the music doesn't receive the attention that it needs. And we made sure that this year, first and foremost, that we went out to give people a show.
Yeah.
And that was the best part about this. Like I couldn't even tell you where we were or what I thought had happened at the end of the competition.
Right.
Besides, I know that we had sang well the whole week. What I mean? We worked hard, and
we executed.
We executed.
We've always worked hard, but we worked harder.
We came off
this year.
stage and we were just really happy about what we did.
Felt great.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that to me was one of the biggest things that I got to experience this year. That at the end of last year, I was like drained.
Right.
So.
It's a crazy thing. We've had several champion quartets on with us in the history of Shop Chat, and this is absolutely the common denominator. Every time we have somebody here that has one of these beautiful medals on it, and I'll ask them that same question, every quartet reaches that point where they realize we're too fixated on the competition itself. Let's just go out and have fun making great music, and then they win, But it just seems like we have to go through the growing pain of getting clobbered over the head a few times before we hit that. If somehow we could find the magic formula, just skip right over that and then get to the good stuff.
I think the magic formula to a quartet is just a journey.
Yeah.
And the great thing and the crazy
Well,
thing about that.
enjoying the process.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. The process,
Right.
you don't know what's going to come about.
That's the thing is,
in the process.
whoever you ask is going to have a different answer to what the ingredient is for a successful quartet. And the truth is that no matter what that ingredient is, if you can get together with 4 individuals that you enjoy being around, the journey just becomes the number one focus, and the music almost transcends and becomes part of that nuance, right? So I think for us, that's what it was, you know.
Yeah, well, it certainly came across on stage, except, Will, surely you just had crushing expectations stepping into an international contest singing baritone. How did you possibly manage to just get one foot in front of the other that entire week?
There was a lot of alcohol involved. I do not condone drinking. I'm joking. No, honestly, man, it was. We made a very poignant decision to say, hey, we're going to spend the week together.
Yeah.
And we did.
That's great.
We had fantastic time, and when any of us were stressed out or whatever, you know, the 3 of us, while Dan's like, I'm going to take a nap. The 3 of us at 1 o'clock in the morning are riding scooters
Right.
up and down looking for McDonald's
People are
because
like,
we wanted.
shouldn't you be in bed? We're like, no.
That's right.
This is exactly what we need to do.
Paul's like, no, I want a double cheeseburger now. And we're like, okay, so let's go get one. 1 o'clock in the morning on scooters, we looked ridiculous. You know?
Right. No.
And it was, this year at International was just so much fun.
Well, that's what I was going to ask about, because I was, totally teasing about you looking like laden with pressure. It was the exact opposite. In fact, it really,
acting really well.
it really seemed to me like you all just had more fun on stage than any other year, and you showed off a side of your personality that anybody who ever has gotten a chance to hang out with you guys for like 3 seconds knows that you've got this funny, fun-loving side to your personalities. But the music you chose, which is great, just there's a lot of intense stuff though, and a lot of the music you all sang. And so this year, like you did Proud Mary, it was just so much fun. And for me as an audience member, I just remember thinking, I am so glad these guys finally showed us, the full range of who they are. But I was curious, was that actually an intentional plan this year?
Yeah, I think when we chose music this year, first of all, we wanted to come with, 5 or 6 new songs. We wanted to come out and say, we're, even though it's a signature, there's growth, this is a new signature, right? And we chose music that was fun-loving, stuff that we wanted to sing, and then other stuff that, we sang 3 or 4 divas songs,
Yeah.
and then
some bad divas out there.
Right.
Daniel.
Seriously,
Right.
What do you want from me?
we picked stuff not only that we thought would be fun, we also picked stuff that we knew another quartet wouldn't be getting arranged at the same time, because there's so much new music being unveiled.
yeah.
We're just like, okay, well, and we got another soulful quartet at Rooftop Records who likes to go down that avenue also,
Right.
So, and they're brothers, and we're like, okay, well, we got to pick our music,
Right.
get ready, and we got our stuff arranged really early on.
Yeah.
We were really, really prepared. It just, all I can say is having sung in lots of quartets over a 10-year period,
Mm-hmm.
when it's right, it's right.
Yeah.
Everything just kind of comes together.
Right.
It doesn't have to happen. Like, you don't have to make it happen.
Mhm.
It just kind of happens. And
Yeah.
everything kind of just fell into place. It was like, well, what are we going to do? We're going to start working, and we're going to get music. And it's just like every arrangement came in at the time it was supposed to come in. Learning the music was great. The rehearsals were productive and still fun. We were like, we're going to dance. I mean, we got a studio at a gym nearby,
So-
and we were practicing our dance moves in front of mirrors.
I would like to have
Shout out,
video
shout
footage
out.
of that, please. That we can
Actually,
put here
actually, my wife Gisela does have footage of us dancing like fools.
Like fools.
Yeah.
And it was her colleague, one of our good friends, Bertha. She has a dance studio in her condominium.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, can we use that? We want to use the mirror. And then that turned into, well, this is Proud Mary. Can we do some stuff? And we,
Right.
And then Daniel's like, we need to
Right.
go. And then it just kind of one thing, and then it turned into 5, and then it turned into 12, and I was like,
No,
guys,
but-
I can't even make the end of this song. You got me
Well,
dancing all over
that's
the place.
Shout out to George Gibb though for pushing
Oh
us
man,
to do
Georgie,
that.
Georgie,
We love you,
Triple
George.
G.
That was a wise move. Now, Daniel, you have been such a master at delivering some of the more, soulful kind of songs that you guys have done. What was it like for you to actually get to be, Aretha Franklin, or step in there, or Tina Turner, like sort of be the diva and have fun?
I mean, for me, it was
Really natural.
more of the sign. Like, I mean, it's pretty natural for me. Diva out for real. No, it was really nice. I mean, like we said, we genuinely picked songs that we're familiar with or that we've heard. So I mean, if you've never seen the movie, What's Love Got to Do with It?
Oh, What's Love Got to Do with It?
Yeah, or Dreamgirls,
Or The Bodyguard.
or The Bodyguard. You
Right.
know, just go watch them. They're great movies.
Well, I'm old school and I love the Blues Brothers, and that's where
Yes.
Rita does.
Yes, and the Blues Brothers, right?
This is one of my
So,
favorite
Oh,
you know,
that's a
scenes.
great scene.
For
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
you know, even for like Think, the middle of that song, we kind of, I can spill the beans. We kind of made up our own middle of
Sure.
that. And when I
Right.
I love that. I love that. You know,
Yeah.
so it was a good moment for it.
And I think more than ever this year, we weren't afraid to kind of go outside what the paper had said for the arrangement.
Right.
There was some stuff. I mean, all of our arrangers are fantastic. You know, Theo,
Are they?
Patrick. Yes,
Who
they are
did
fantastic.
who did Proud Mary?
Cole Kitzmiller.
Cole Kitzmiller.
Okay, and then
Shout
who
out to
did Think?
So all the
Patrick
ballads were
Alexander.
done. All the ballads were done by Theo.
Okay.
And then the uptunes, two were Cole.
And Think was Patrick
was
McAlexander.
Patrick McAlexander.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Very good. All right. So whenever we have a champion on, I always like to ask them, what was the first thing that happened after you got your medal that brought you back down to earth to realize, okay, I'm out of the barbershop bubble fantasy world, and now it's like back to real life. So Dan, what was it for you? What was the first thing that brought you back to reality?
Actually, my 2 weeks after that, I was in Yellowstone, so I didn't have to come back to reality that soon.
Oh wow, that's smart.
But just getting back to the swinging thing, coming into my house and looking at the medal, like even when I was there, I kept pulling the medal out of my backpack. I was like, that's not real. That's not real. And I mean, it's still today. It's hanging on my wall, and I'm like looking at it. I'm like,
No, it's not. It's on your neck.
well, when I'm at home. It's just incredible. I mean, it's absolutely surreal to look at it. It's an honor to have it. And
Yeah.
I haven't really come back down yet, I can say.
That's
It's just-
great. Paul, how about for you? Did you have a moment that was like, oh, this is
Yeah,
real life?
it was the next day when I got back to the room and it was like 7 in the morning and my daughter was crying and my wife said, "It's your turn to change your diaper." And I'm like, well, it was fun being champ. Doesn't matter. I'm back to the bottom
got
of the
one
totem
for
pole
me.
now.
Look at the window. Look at the window. Look at the window. When you get that window, show everyone. Look at the window. Show the window.
So a dirty diaper.
Hey,
that'll
speaking of silver medals, there's one of them right there. We
That's
got it
right.
to those guys right there.
That's
There you go.
right.
Thanks a lot, guys.
I think
Well, I got 30.
it's kind of funny, but my first when I got home and my mom and my god sister did something nice. They like made a sign for me and everything, but like right after that, what people didn't see is immediately my mom made me like throw everything away and take out trash. So I was like, "Mom, take off my medal and do this."
That's
too."
right.
You know.
That's
My
right.
instance didn't even have anything to do with me. It was the time that I found out that Paul Saka has a picture at work, and he has two desktop monitors, right?
Yeah.
And at there is a picture of Signature with the gold medals on and doing like this, and then there's two like this, two pictures back to back. And I think that was my instance of saying, okay, we're back, and our tenor is out of his mind.
Right. That's great. Well, guys, we here in Sunshine are so proud of you, and have been cheering you on and enjoyed watching your journey, and excited to have you all represent the district as international champions. And we have a little tradition here on Shop Chat where we like for folks to sing our little Shop Chat tag. So if you don't mind, sing us out today, gentlemen.
Shop chat.
This is Signature, and this has been Shop Chat. Thanks for joining us.
Shop
today.
Chat.
Shop